Hello there, everyone. This is Whole Super 17 here, and let me first, like usual, I do not own this picture. This is not a paid video. All right, okay. So here's the thing. Someone said to put him in the movie. Them being on island and everything. So I am I am retconning it, saying, David Shield, tell him still just in case, so we can get a proper, reading on your power. All right, and all my agreed. So, also, when Zero left, the heroes, did leave. The bodies of the Nomus were destroyed. So, let's say, there were about like 40 Nomus. All right, we're gonna be going to that point. I did not mention. I think I gave Izuku about 100 shadows, accounting with now we're having, the hero killer Stain being a part of it. He has 101, but since they are about like 40 Nomus, I still have 11 of them, 11 like shadows saved. So yeah, and sorry about the fan. It's just my mom's watching TV. Don't want you guys to hear it, and. But anyways, so yeah, so let's just go into this. All right, this is what if what if Deku had solo leveling system, part 6. Out of 2. You'll see. But anyways. Yeah. So Izuku gets to the area where the Nomus were. He smiles at this. He goes, the heroes didn't destroy the bodies. Let's have a little bit more add to my army and such. And so Izuku just tells them to come forth. As they all start to basically rise up from the dead. And let's just say one hero was there. One hero was coming back to destroy the bodies. And this was Endeavor. Endeavor comes, seeing this, and he goes, Solo, what you doing? As he looks at, Endeavor, as all the Nomus, basically he sees them as level 1, just soldiers, start to go back into his, shadow. And he goes, Endeavor, I'm only here to take what I, think I can deserve for, killing the hero killer Stain. He goes, did you do to him what you did to these creatures? He goes, yes. It was a waste to, have him just come after more heroes. I could not save the boy Ida. Tenya, was it? He goes, yeah. What do you mean? By the time I got there, he was already dead, actually. Like I said, I'm a vigilante. I'm not a hero. Doesn't bother me in the fact, since I had to kill people. As Endeavor looks at Izuku looking away from him, as he just says, well, you are necessary to this society. Most heroes would have done it for fame and fortune. You're doing this because, what's the reason? Izuku just says, I was told I couldn't become a hero. Because I had nothing. But something happened where I got something else. That's all. And I'm just doing this not to prove a point. Not for the fun of it. I'm just doing it because I want to get stronger. Stronger and stronger. That's all. And if I can save a couple of people, then fine by me. Doesn't matter which way I say people. By ending other people's lives to save another, or just to, save them and not expect anything else out of it. And which, Endeavor does say that would make sense since, your quirk or whatever it is based off of a RPG. So, I suspect that you are a necromancer, Shadow Lord. As Izuku looks at him in shock, he was like, you have knowledge. That's scary. And Endeavor smiles at this. He goes like, well, at least I know something that can strike fear into your heart. Knowledge. I've been playing video games ever since I was in high school. I got into it that way. As he goes, okay, how many RPGs have you? That's the only thing I've been playing is RPGs, kid. And that's all I ever will. He was like, what class do you always go as? As he goes, well, if I told you I go as the class that you're doing, would you be quite terrified? As Izuku nods. He goes, then yes. I'm always a necromancer if any game that I can have. If not, then I go with the swordsman or berserker. As he goes, what about assassin's class? He goes like, especially assassins. Those are my top 5 to 4. Okay, so necromancer, berserker, assassin, and swordsman. Like he says, there is another class I use, but I'm not saying that. He was like, okay. Izuku's thinking to himself, okay, this is quite scary endeavor. A secret RPG player who plays video games now, I know, and he knows necromancy class better than probably me, since I never played one. I only researched it more. But it's different from, well, from the necromancy class of normal people have played. So yeah, as then Endeavor just says, most people would never find you, well, as a hero if you were in UA. Kind of funny how a great hero is standing right in front of me, and yet society will not count him as a hero. As he just looks at, Izuku, basically, Endeavor's looking at him, he goes like, I want to give you a chance. He goes, and when he looks at him, he goes like, what? He goes, yes, I want to give you a chance. Not to work at my agency. No. It's to have you basically have an agency of your own. But you deal with the gates that open up, if needed. Go into your dungeons, help people basically achieve the dungeon, and always with them. Because I suspect, since you do have something so much of RPG, like a game, you're going to level up, and there is no limits. You have no limits, I think, kid. So, take my offer, if you want. Think about it. It doesn't have to be by the book. Since you're not a hero, no one would suspect you having your own agency. But it's for our, just for what you do, going to dungeons. I'll be a part of that if needed. I like to join it anyways. I want to see how it really is, what you experience, what you go through. You do not even have to reveal your true identity to me, or to any one of us. But you will have to talk to Nezu, and, well, he also then have to talk to me while I'm there. As Izuku is saying, okay, this is really, really, really weird. But alright, he says, sure, I'll think about it. Then Miko's just saying, well, I mean, you can't have party members. So, how about you bring Ezel with you too? I mean, she may be able to level up too. As Izuku goes, huh, that may be true. Which Endeavor goes, what? He goes, oh, nothing. Just thinking about something out loud. Sorry. He goes, no, it's quite alright. Now get out of here before the other heroes come. As Deku nods and disappears. He just runs into the shadow and, turns into, he runs into an alleyway and disappears. And I think him and Ezel were hanging out, so, he calls up Ezel, he finds Ezel with her shadow, which he always has on her. And, it wasn't that, they weren't that far away, so, because he, deactivates the clothes, the solo clothing on, then he used shadow exchange, and then, well, it magically, has her, it was nearby, so he was, wondering, huh, wow. As the shadow does appear again, and it goes back to the Ezel shadow, she basically hugs him and goes so, how was it? He was like, the fight was easy. Hero Killer Stain didn't even give me that much XP, nor did those Nomus. I'm almost close to level 33, 143 basically. As I was saying, wow, you're that strong. It was like, yeah, all my stats are near, are in the 300 or even close to Well, one of them is in the 300s still. All the rest are in the 400s. She goes, okay. What else? He goes, well, I can combine certain weapons together. Also, I got another key. As he shows her as the description says, well, what it says, the lone swordsman. And she goes, huh? Are we gonna do that? Are you gonna do the dungeon today? He was like, no. There is a one dungeon I want to go to, but you know, I don't want to do it today since of the no move attack, and I just want to spend time with you. As Ezra says, good, because believe it or not, while you were gone, I was able to, well, and I did like one of those, what are they called, like lottos, where you pay some amount of money, and there's like that when someone actually spins something, there's like one of those little balls that come out of the. Uh, she doesn't really know it, neither do I, but basically, there's like color of like different colors like green, blue, and then yellow or gold is the grand prize. As he goes, oh, those, yeah, I get it. Wait, you played one? What do you get? She says the grand prize. Believe it or not, it's 3 tickets to, well, Island. As Izuku just says, huh, that's cool. When is it? Like 3 days from now. He goes, alright. So what happens is they get ready. Zuko basically, packs up his stuff along with Inko and Ezel. They can't believe that they're going to Island. The tickets were already paid, and like even like it was actually an all like expensive trip to Island for basically like let's say 2 days. No, 2 nights and 3 days. Like third day they had to leave. So yeah, and Zuko was like still had his homework all done. Like all schoolwork was done. So yeah, so he went. So when they get to Island, they see a big giant crowd of people. They see All Might. They see Bakugo. Even Mirio's there. Mirio was just there because of he wanted to meet Bakugo early. And Deku just goes, wait, Bakugo? Okay, let's go. And like, Inko and Ezel are going like, why? He goes like, I don't want Bakugo to see me. Seriously, I don't know why he's here. So like, they leave. Bakugo notices him, even though he was trying not to. Because Izuku knew Bakugo was gonna try and just tease him about being on a date. And like but Bakugo's not. He's like, I'm gonna leave my friend alone. I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm not gonna be that type of guy. So yeah, Inko, Ezel, and Zuko get to the hotel. They're like on the middle floor. Say like there's like 2,000 floors there, and like 1,563, and that's their room. It's all the same room because the rooms that they have in this hotel, there's like multiple rooms. But technically, there's only like 2 rooms. But actually, no, heck, I suppose better. When they open up the room, it's like they have like a little ways, and then there's like a couch and a TV. Basically, it's like a house, like an apartment building. I mean, but it's just a hotel. Because this one, they have like different types of hotels, so this is one of them that like lets you spend like 3 days or how many days you want in there with the comfort of like home. So yeah. And well, let's say everything for everyone else on the island, like whoever's there on the island, the the movie is there. So yeah. And Bakugo does do like, he basically had learned how to use like full cowling, but more the lines of like explosion cowling to move, like it makes like miniature explosions and help him move even quicker. He did like do Gran Torino's training. So yeah. But anyways, Izuku basically sees Bakugo, and I forgot to mention, someone did tell me about just saying like full like superhuman ability. I forget what it was, but hold on. Okay, it was super human body enhancement. That's what they said. So that's what he told Todoroki. So yeah. But basically though, after they get unpacked all their stuff, they do have like a grocery store. That's where Inko's gonna go to, like on island. So, you know, and Izuku and Ezel is gonna walk around, look at stuff. Inko just tells them to have fun and all. So yeah, so that's what they do. Izuku and Ezel, I'm just stopped saying Deku. All of a sudden, wow, yeah, whatever. But they walk around and they hear explosions and well, it's Bakugo. It's Bakugo and doing the robot time, as they come and see. He sees Uraraka, Momo, and like Jiro, along with like Melissa. And basically, right when Bakugo was done, basically Izuku goes like, "Oh my god, how much time did he had?" As he looks, he goes like, "Huh, 10 minutes, not bad, Bakugo." The Bakugo sees Deku. He makes an explosion over to him. He basically lands. He goes like, "Deku!" He goes, "Bakugo?" He goes, "What's up?" He goes, "Nothing much." You? He goes, "Yeah, nothing much either." He just hops over the railing and like he basically fist bumps. Bakugo and Deku fist bump. So yeah, he says, "Hi, Ezel," and all the girls hear that and they see like they basically see him. And like they see him and Ezel, so they like come over say hi, and then like Todoroki does this thing where it's only like 5 seconds. I mean, yeah, 5 seconds. I believe it was. When instead of 10 minutes, it was 10 seconds. I mean, so yeah. So, Deku. I mean, Bakugo has told like nudge Deku saying, "Come on, I want to see how fast you are. Go over and fight them." He was like, "You sure?" He goes, "Yeah, let me see." He goes, "All right." He hops over the railing, which the announcer didn't like say, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Can I try my luck?" She goes, "Oh, sure. What's your quirk?" He goes, "Superhuman body enhancement." And she goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah. It basically gives me superhuman, strength, speed, durability, all that stuff." Because I'm always like getting like smacked into walls when I was a kid, and somehow it never hurt me. So she goes, "All right, try your luck." As Todoroki just kind of like looking at him, and well, he just smiles. He was like, "Yeah, I want to see how fast you really are." He goes, "Don't blink." As Todoroki smiles, he was like, "I won't." And he tells Bakugo, "Hey Bakugo, how much money you want to bet?" And Bakugo basically says, 500 yen. You can't beat mine and Todoroki's half and half record. As he goes, "Bet." So she says, "I am Mark. Get set, go." As Deku just disappeared, and Ezel kind of like before like he even did that, she laughed and says, "You lost." And he goes, "Wait, what?" As then boom, like he used sprint, and he just demolished everyone, the robots, super easily, and actually is right back at the starting point. And he just says, how long? 2 minutes, like 2 seconds. I was like, huh, neat. And he just walking along, Todoroki saying, "I didn't blink. I did not blink. Yet I couldn't see him." Bakugo says, "I should have realized it. I made the wrong bet. I made the wrong bet." So basically, Deku jumps up, grabs the railing with his hand, and pulls himself up. He was like, "So, 500 yen?" It's like, "Fine. I'll give it to you by tomorrow. Or next week, actually. I'm going to be here on the island for like 2 days, a day or so." It's like, "Oh, I'm going to be here on 3. Yeah, I'll see you next week then with it." He was like, "Fine." So yeah, so they spend time with everyone from Class 1A. Gets there on the island. Ezel met Mineta, and Mineta, well, just being Mineta, Deku automatically gave the death stare at him, and Mineta just legit fainted because unbeknownst to everyone, the death stare he really activated bloodlust, and that literally scared the crap out of him, to the point where he passed out, and like it almost killed him. And Bakugo says, "Man, that death glare of yours nearly killed him. I bet." As you know, let's just say like Denki did like check Mina's pulse. He goes like, "Yep, it nearly did. Good one." And like even the girls like clap for him. Ezel just says, "You shouldn't have done that," even if he was being a little perv. He was like, "But still, no one does makes try to make moves on my girlfriend." She goes, "Oh, if he did, I would have freaking skewered him with my spear." As all the girls go like, "Wait, what?" And she goes, nothing." And then he does whisper, like Deku does grab her. Well, actually not grab, so he pulls her in closer, and he does whisper inside her ear, saying like, "You know, you don't have your spear, right?" She goes, "I know. It's all habit of mine." He goes, "No problem. I'll get you a spear." She goes, "Wait, really?" He goes, "Yeah. When we get back home, me and you, I'm gonna go in some dungeon raids." She smiles at that, and yeah. Um, so that like they heard about the announcement of like a assembly for all like the people, or yeah, or basically Island, that assembly that they all had, well, ball dance thing. Yeah, I think it was called ball, but um, but we're gonna go over to David. David find out his wound is healed, and that it's his power isn't like decreasing that much. It's only decreasing very slowly. So he's gonna be around for maybe like 2 to 5 more years at tops, which David's somewhat upset, but he's happy. So the whole entire wolf gang, wolf, whatever, the guy that makes like steel metal bend to his whim, just won't like try to steal it for right now, but they're going to anyway. So yeah. So everyone like gets in their outfits. Zuko and Ezel didn't know, but Mika the whole entire time has been like just quiet and just watching. She goes, "Oh well, check the system. Maybe you can have some outfits that in your forge, basically they can make." And he goes, "All right." So he checks, and well, they have nothing. But so Izuku and Ezel goes down to see if there's like a place they can rent out outfits. As well, they do. They have a place, and he actually does tell them, saying like, "If this gets ripped or broken, would I have to pay for it?" And they go like, "Depends. Like if a fight broke out of nowhere, do I?" He was like, "Oh, if there's a fight and you're in danger and you ripped it, we're not charging you. Don't worry about it." He goes, "Oh, thank God. Thanks." So, they get dressed for the ball and, well, ball assembly, whatever it's called. And, Izuku's all like dressed up. He opens the curtains like to get out of like, no, wait, they're back at their apartment. So, he opens up the door, kind of out of the room. Ezel does too. So there's like 2 beds in each room. So Inko and Ezel has a bed, and Izuku has his own. But he comes out. He goes, "Ezel, you're ready." She's wearing a red dress that has red and black over it. Like it's red. The whole entire dress is red. It has like the designs are like fabric are black and everything. She basically, if I had a picture of it, I would show you, but I don't. What I was thinking of, but let's just say, she's also wearing a flower in her hair that's red too. She goes, "How do I look?" And Izuku's face is just red, and he shakes his head, and basically he goes like, "You look beautiful." And Mika's just saying, "Just kiss her." And he just says, "Shut it." And Izuku then says, "Miko said something." He was like, "Yeah." She goes, "All right." She comes over. She is wearing not high heels. She's just wearing regular shoes, like dress shoes. she basically comes over and then just basically kisses Zuko on the lips, and he does, and like, I mean, he just closed his eyes, and then they hear a flash, well, a sound of a camera, as Inko just saying, "Sorry, had to take you. You guys look so cute together," and they both blush and they say thanks. And he goes, "You ready?" She goes, "Yep." So they leave. They meet up with everyone else. Bakugo and Kirishima are there, but hold on. All right, everyone. I just had to get my dinner. It's just ham, but anyways, like I was saying, they met up with everyone. Bakugo and Kirishima are there, so yeah, it's gonna be different in this one. So, I mean, they're all just talking. Melissa comes, and let's just say, it's Bakugo and Melissa having something getting close, but as friends, nothing else. So he says, "Hey Melissa, you look nice. So you don't look so bad yourself, Bakugo." He's like, "What do you mean by that?" Basically, she just laughs and she goes, "Well, you don't look like the guy who whatever wear something as nice as this." And he goes like, "Yeah, whatever. Come on, let's go." And they're about to go in, but for some reason they see something, and like All Might was giving a speech. It started like they were a little bit late, but then villains came in and stopped. Like they see like villains like coming in like from certain like instead of like the doors, they came in through the like walls and such, and like basically they trapped everyone along with All Might. And well, since they said All Might his powers not decreasing much, they have like this actual metal biting to like keep him. It's very stronger than it was in canon, so he's gonna have a harder time. His time limit is basically gone. So yeah, and Deku's seeing this. Azul just grabs Deku's hand and just runs over to away from them. Just Suku, you don't have to show yourself to them, and I don't want you to do that. And he was, yeah, I know, but I got no choice. All right. No matter what happens, you believe in me, right? She goes, of course. So Izuku does like say this to everyone. Hey, I got something to tell you guys. Bakugo know he's gonna say. He goes like, no, I got something to tell you. Get you and your girlfriend out of here. We'll handle this. He goes, what do you mean? He goes like, trust me, okay? As he covered for Izuku, and he just thinks to himself, I owe you one, Bakugo. So he says thanks, and basically, him and Ezel leave, and Eric goes, "Is it okay to?" He goes, "Yeah, it's fine." So Todoroki says, "Seriously, they're gonna be on themselves. There's probably more villains." And he goes, "Those two can handle them. Well, Izuku can protect her, and we'll just get in his way." And they don't understand what he means by that. Besides Denki and Kirishima, and they both nod. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, right when, like, while this was happening, while they're just talking after a few minutes pass, Izuku and Ezel are, out of sight. There's, like, no cameras or nothing. He basically tells her, Bakugo knew what I was gonna say. He just saved my life. She goes, what are you gonna do now? He was like, easy. Igris. Be, Barak, and Zero come out. As they do, as he basically tells them, alright, you know where Bakugo and Kirishima and Denki are. Since he was in their shadow, they were in the shadow, they all nod. He says, alright, I need you all to go into that basically where everyone else is in that ballroom and, basically save their life and get All Might out of there. As in, they nod, and basically then he tells Ezel to basically go into this room. And it's just a storage room with nothing in there because it was like being cleaned out. And then he put in his tusk and he just tells him protect her. All right, he does not. He nods and uses protection. That ice protection wall that he has. And Ezel just says to him, just don't overdo yourself. All right. And he just laughs and goes like, come on, how bad it's gonna be. So You know, it's gonna be like easy for him, he says. She laughs and says, I know, but still, I don't want you to get hurt. He blushes and says, thanks. She's also blushing because she never really had someone that she fell in love with until he came around. So this is all new to her, and this is new for him. They both understand that. He basically turns and has a solo gear on over his clothing already. Like, you know, he and Miko just says, "It's about time. Come on." And she appears like right in front of like the ice wall. She goes, "You know, don't worry, I look after for you, Ezel." And she basically says, "Thanks, Mika." He goes, "No problem. We'll talk later about this though." And she goes, "All right." So he leaves. He dashes right when he actually gets into the ball room, that room with everyone in it. I think I'm just gonna call it the ballroom. All Might's out, and basically the Zero, Baraka, and like Igris is like taking down like the villains, non-killing them, because they know Izuku like it's ordered. If there's no like, they don't like if they basically if I don't have a choice, if I have a choice to not kill them, you guys don't kill them. But if you can't help it and you got to, then you got to. We only kill non-monsters. Well, non-humans. Monsters basically, as they all know that. So basically, though, they're taking down like the villains, knocking them out, and well, one of them though did try to shoot Izuku, which Igris sent through his sword, blocking the bullet, as it did like hit the guy in the shoulder. Izuku then grabs Igris's sword, and basically just says, "I have to, basically make sure he doesn't want to try to kill me." So he basically, looks like he's about to kill the guy, but he stops it right before the blade even hits his neck, and he says, "Now, do you want to die, or do you want to live?" He goes, "Live." He goes, "Then drop your weapon, and don't even try to kill me again, right?" He goes, "Yes, sir." And he just throws Igris back his sword, which it catches. All Might says, "Solo, you're here." He goes, "Yeah, got a problem with that?" He goes like, "No, thank you." "I'm surprised though you are here." And he was like, "No problem. It's really no problem at all." He goes, I really am grateful for everything." So he explains the situation that villains that came in and took David from the ballroom and stuff before, which Bakugo says, "Solo, how, a couple of my friends and two of my friends are basically went in a different direction. Well, it's him and his girlfriend, but I was like, yeah, I met them. I have him one of my shadows protecting him. All right, yes, thanks." And so after that happening, they explained the plan that they had to go up because that's where the invention room is, and Melissa agrees with All Might. And basically, Zuka says, "I could easily get there by myself. I can one-shot this." And then all of a sudden, multiple shadows are coming out. Like, the Nomus that were attacking Hosu. Yeah, I think it was Hosu. Yeah, now I remember. It was Hosu. And, like, All Might goes like, "What the? Those are the Nomu that attacked on Hosu." He was like, "Yeah. Got a problem with that?" I mean, Zero here, as he points to the Nomu that was supposed to kill him, took them down. And then they see the hero kill a stain. He was like, "Yeah, I turned him into a shadow. Got a problem with that? It was better off he was dead before he killed more heroes." I mean, I don't agree with him, but heroes are technically like a little bit selfish. They want fame and fortune, so instead of doing with the right thing that the symbol of peace made, it's basically All Might says, "I know. So I thank you for dealing with it. But was there no choice?" It was like, there was no choice. I could have subdued him, and he would have gone out, and next thing you know, he would have done exactly the same thing he did again. So, yeah, you get my gist, right? You get the point of it. I do. I don't like it, but I have to understand it. What about the Class 1A student, Ida? It was, "That's why I killed him." I turned that kid Ida Tenya into a shadow. What would you have said? I'm a villain? I should have let his body be at rest, in peace, right? Besides, that kid wouldn't have been useful to me anyways. It's better if I just let him be. Azuku's real reason is he didn't want to bring Ida as a shadow because he would have felt bad, and it's best off to let him be buried and be at rest. Let the family mourn him without him, just knowing that he's not alive. Like he's just gone all of a sudden. Like, and they found out he's dead. Would have been a lot worse instead of just finding out immediately. So yeah, that's what he was thinking. As All Might says, I understand. It would have been hard for the family to, well, basically have hope and then be crushed if they found out about him. So thank you. As he bows to Izuku, it was no problem, All Might. And he goes, guys. And as he looks at his shadows, he goes like, we're moving out. As, well, all of them just start walking out of the room. And he says, get everyone out of here. I don't know what's gonna happen. This battle could be big and dangerous. Just the way I like it. My life is on the line. And that kind of freaks out everyone besides Bakugo. He just says, he kind of acts like me now. Crud. I have to watch out for that. So, so Izuku and his Shadow Army is basically going up and fighting, basically, all the villains. They're not killing them, they're knocking them out. They basically get the robots. His army destroys them all. And when he gets up there, it's him, Igris, Barak, Tank. Because, no, not Tank, Iron. Tank can't get him because it's like, too big. He's too big, basically, so yeah. And, well, David's saying, what are those? He was like, none of your business, Mr. Shield. So, you guys are after, that device. He goes, yes, they're after because I made it to help All Might out with his court to keep it, lasting longer. And he was like, huh, I see. So, I guess All Might was losing power. And he goes, yeah, you helped him out on that. Thank you. And, while the wolf is basically saying, am I just being ignored here? Azuka just basically pulled out his pistol and just shoots him in the leg. Both of his legs. And then, all of a sudden, using, shadow weapon, basically changed our weapons. He basically chains him up with, basically, just with the shadows, basically. And he goes, yeah, you're being ignored. And I already took down everyone here. Didn't even get me that much experience. I was so close. Whatever. Come on, let's go. As Igris, does go over to the guy and tries to grab him, as though the actual helmet is flown onto the guy's head, as it amplifies his quirk to the point where he's actually starting to bend the building to his to try to get Izuku. As basically all Izuku just does, just takes out just changes the guns to the daggers and just starts slicing through the metal pretty easily. And it's impossible for him to ever understand the guy. As David Shield does get captured by him, and he does go up to the top as Izuku basically falls up with Igris, Tank, Baraka, and Iron. And along with the other Shadow Armies following coming up then too. So yeah. So what happens next is he goes, I will not be defeated by some no hero loser. As he goes ouch, that hurts. But the only loser here I see is you though. So what's your point? As he goes, are you mocking me? He was like, no. I mean, kind of like you needed a helmet to amplify your own quirk to basically become stronger just to defeat little old me. You're already mocking yourself. So, hey, have fun with that. As he goes, darn you, you stinking hero. As you know, he summons out metal rods at Izuku. Izuku just summons out the wyvern. I should have wrote this name down. Kissel? Yeah, hold on. Kazel. As you know, it comes out and basically it starts flying up around. Izuku takes out the Demon King's sword, and he just starts swinging it around. And all of a sudden, he basically slams it into the ground, though, as it's basically going like lightning's coming, like starting to like strike the ground, and like there's a field of lightning now. He goes like, if I were you, I would get out of there. All that metal's gonna try to make a lightning rod, as he basically tank and comes out next, and then Iron starts to go over like to basically the armor of Iron. He basically smashes right through it and grabs David, as he takes him, like he basically was able to get him out without hurting him out of the metal. And then next thing you know, when he's like says, "What are you doing? Stop it!" And Igris is just like attacking like the metal rods, and he even grabs one and throws it. It nearly hits Wolf, and like he goes, "I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die!" And then he sees Izuku, he goes like, "Yeah, but look up." And then like all of a sudden like Kazel is up there as he just shoots fire down, as basically he thumbs out, and then a cube just going right into the fire. As then all of a sudden like lightning strikes it, as the lightning goes right through the metal and goes right into Wolf's metal golem as he gets electrocuted. And he was like, "Be lucky if you survive. You may die, but I'm not bringing you back to life." As as the metal golem is like being like not the metal golem. The metal armor that he has along with the helmet is destroyed. He survived somehow. Izuku takes out the Demon King's sword, puts it back into his storage, and goes, "Huh, that was easy." And yeah, so after that, All Might appears, says, "I am here." He goes, "Yeah, you missed it." Doesn't matter. There's your villain. The helmet's destroyed, by the way. So yeah, as all the shadows are coming in, besides Kazel, as he jumps, and like he jumps off the building. All Might says, "Wait," but he was too late to even try to get Izuku. Kazel basically catches him and he flies away, but then like Izuku jumps off of Kazel into a window, and then like Kazel goes back to the shadow. He gets over to where Ezel is. Tusk then goes back to his shadow. She basically hugs him, and saying, "How was it?" He goes like, "Easy. I almost loaded up. I have like 500 more left." She goes, "Cool." He goes, "Yeah. So come on, let's go." Everyone's probably waiting for us. So they get out of the building, and well, Bakugo and them are there. David is safe, but with All Might. So yeah, along with, and he asks, secretly, he goes, "Hey, is that kid your, successor?" He was like, "No, he's not. It's Bakugo." He was like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." But then, how does he? Now it's weird. It seems like he has more than one quirk, and I thought it was one for all. I know. I think he's working with. He was, is working with all for one, but his actions are different from what I thought. He healed me, and well, I don't know. So yeah, so everyone's getting like, so basically their Inko was told about it, and that everyone has to leave for repairs for the island, and Inko is upset. So yeah, so like they're everyone gets their stuff back and they're leaving, but just then, all of a sudden, a gate opens up and Izuku goes, "No, not now, I can't." As in like multiple like ant-like creatures are coming out of it. He goes, as everyone's like getting rushing out, All Might tries to use a Detroit Smash, and he sends all the ants flying. He was like, "Everyone, get to the boat! Like, get to the airplanes and boats as soon as possible," as they all do. Like, everyone's getting on the boats and airplanes, and they get out of there. No casualties. All Might, safely on a, gets safely on his plane as everyone's out of there, and the place was overrun by ants. As Mika and Ezel and Inko are thinking, no. Mika says to Izuku, saying, "We're gonna have to come back here soon." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "I don't know. I got a bad feeling about those ants." And then he does see like the queen ant. As he goes, as he sees her, he goes like, "Yeah, we're going to." And these ants are in second generation, but they're gonna be evolving a little more faster. It's like every 5 months to no, it's gonna be like every month that a generation of ants is evolved. So yeah, and let's just say, because of that, no, it'll be like every 2 weeks they're gonna evolve because I need this to happen like this. So yeah, so basically, when Inko and Izuku and Ezo get back to their place, he tells them he's gonna go somewhere. All right, and they're like, "Where?" He's like, "Just to a forest nearby. Um, it's called, well, I forget what it's called, but the Monster Forest, I think it was." And or the Beast Force, where the hero training arc. I mean the camp art, the hero art. I mean the hero camp training is. So yeah, and Inko just says, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to level up before I go back and destroy those ants." All right, as Inko says, "All right, just be careful." He goes, "I will." Ezo, does like come over and hug him, and he goes, "When are we going to, go to a dungeon together? You promise?" He goes like, "This is where I want you to come with. You're packing up your stuff and you're coming with me." She goes, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." So, she packs up her stuff along with Zuko. They travel all the way to, like, the forest. Zuko did read the key, and it said he had to basically unlock it at a forest. So, yeah. So, the only one he nearby was that one. So, basically, as Zuko and Ezo get there, Mika says, "Are you sure about this? Bringing her? She doesn't have a..." As Zuko basically goes to the shop, he has enough money for a spear, and then he basically then has some material to make her some armor. And so he does. He gives her the spear, and then he gives her the armor, and she basically says, "How do I put this on?" He goes like, "Hold on." So he goes into like his, party member as equipment, as in he just basically equips it onto her. And like her, basically he does ask, "Can you feel your other clothing on her? On you?" Just It's like it's right over it, as it does say. Her clothing is underneath it, and the armor just covers it. So yeah, but hold on, I gotta eat this real quick. So yeah, so basically what happens, after all that, he opens up the gate, and like he does get his outfit on for the solo, but not the mask. But they go in, and what happens is, when they enter it, the dungeon, it's like it is the forest, but it's all foggy. And after walking for about 10 to 20 minutes, they're talking about planning what they're gonna do for the weekend and such. And well, they don't really know. Like, they're just making plans. And so what happens is they hear a cart coming to them. As he goes, "What the?" As just then, well, as a horse and buggy's coming, as it stops, as basically the door opens, as there's no one there, but the rider says, "Please get in, sir. We've been waiting for you." He goes, "What?" And Ozo, says, "Am I allowed to come? Us or just him?" He goes like, "Oh, well, actually, anyone who entered the gate, we've been waiting for someone for quite some time. So please, miss, enter." So, they enter, they're riding, Mika saying, "I don't know about this." He goes, "I don't know either. Be, on guard," as he does have the pistols to the side, and the sword to his side, and the bow, the arrow, and the bows. He has, like, the whole entire weapons out. So, yeah. As when they get to, like, they get out of the fog, and they see a castle. And, Izuku goes, "Sir, what is this called?" He was like, "This is Camelot, home of King Arthur." and his sword Excalibur. In which Izuku's like, wait, does that mean? He goes, yes, he's the boss. And you'll have to fight him. But first, he wants to get to know you before the fight. So please understand that. And, well, we have a feeling you... Well, by when you entered, he can already sense you have an army with you. And he wants to see who's better, you or him. And that is going to be it. And if so, you win. You can claim his sword. Now then. As he stops, he says, here's your stop. And so there is a grand, audience, basically to welcome, a welcome party. As King Arthur is there, to say, King Arthur's there, and basically says, welcome guests. I'm Arthur, King of Camelot. And, basically, I welcome you to my home. Please, let us talk and, get to know one another before the fight. And so, they come in. Come into the castle, they meet people, and he says, wait, there's a community here? It was all warriors. And, well, I am a king, so it does have its perks. Izuku goes, yeah, it does. Huh. He's thinking, I don't know if I want to kill him if I have to. I'd rather just take his weapon and just leave. And, Mika even, understands that look, even Ezel. So, Ezel's holding his hand, and, he's being comfort, mentally. And, when they get to, the banquet hall, they eat, and, Izuku and King Arthur are talking. King Arthur is asking about him and what he's, as a person, what he's like. He tells them about his past and how much, he wanted power, at least to have something, at least anything, just to be not bullied, but he never got until when he died. He does say that's quite unfortunate for you, but you're stronger than you are now than then, right? As he nods, he goes, that is good. He basically asked though about Azul. He says, oh, this, well, we're kind of a thing. And he's like, ah, I see. Very well. Merlin's there. He was like, he basically says, I am Merlin. It's nice to meet you, Izuku Midoriya. He goes, well, it's nice to meet you. And then he was like, you too, Merlin. And he says, this is all just like a book, a fairy tale, basically, of you guys. And stories of legend. He goes, I bet. I mean, normally, it doesn't seem like this happens, but, well, before my kingdom fell to ruins, and when I died, we were transported here, and woken into this game, unaging, never dying. And we kind of longed for death, but we made the most of it. We have had some fights with some creatures, but that is it. And so, Izuku basically sees weapons, on the side. He's like, what the? It's basically a bow and arrow. A bow and arrows. And, basically, another sword. Excalibur. Izuku says, do you mind if I look at them? And he goes, not at all. So Izuku looks at the bow. And he, and the arrows, he was like, what the? Piercing? These things can pierce through anything, looks like. As it does read, the high piercing arrows, they have a, the tip of the metal of the arrow can pierce through almost anything, even steel. And basically the bow is basically strength is over, way higher than his. And basically, Arthur says, take it. He goes, are you sure? He was like, yes. That bow was for you. And the sword, if you defeat me in combat, is for you too. He goes, what? You sure about this? He was like, yes. As I got to know you, after these few short minutes of talking, I got to know you a little bit, but in battle, I got to know the real you. So please, fight me, Izuku Midoriya, and are basically the cycle of us living here. And you'll have my castle, my army. All the weapons in here will be yours. As Izuku's eyes are widened, he goes, Wait, your army? That means me and Merlin, and all the knights of the Round Table, and my soldiers will be at your command. So please, let me and my people be reborn. As you know, he does say, like he will say, and I will call you my king. Which Merlin laughs at this. He says, Excalibur is a weapon that can never be defeated by the likes of anyone. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to speed this along. I'm speeding this along because I gotta eat still. I'm not done yet. And it's like almost 5:30, it's like 5:12. Yeah, so basically, the whole entire scene happens like this. Izuku looks at Ezel, she nods, and he goes, Alright, I'll do it. As you know, King Arthur says, Alright, men, off to fight a battle to the death, for us. And all the men go like, yeah, cheering and such. And so, Izuku, goes out to the field waiting for, for Arthur and his men. All the knights of the Round Table, including with Merlin. And basically, Ezel is with him. She basically says, Are you sure about this? He goes, I don't know. Let me bring, basically, as he grabs his bow, he still has King Arthur's bow, as then he says, transfer and combined. As both of the bows are combined into one. And then, he has, even though, the arrows, holder combines, as it then, he has arrows that can pierce through anything now. So, yeah. As he puts it on his back. Just then, King Arthur and his men come out. He goes, Where is your army? He goes, You really want to know where it is? But how many men do you have? He goes, 300. You? As Zuko just says, Doesn't matter. Come out, guys. As just then, a whole bunch, all his shadows coming out, including the extra 11. As he says, Now, are you guys ready? Hold on. As Zuko basically looking back at his shadows, Igris, Tusk, Baraka, and Stain. I forgot what to mention. Stain is a night class. And Iron, they all nod their heads. And Zero's there too, the Namu, as basically he nods. And he says, Alright everyone then. Go. And basically end all of their, end them all. As they all the shadows starting to run. King Arthur tells his men to charge. Ezel, he's right beside him. She asks him, Are you sure about this? He goes, Honestly, I can already tell Arthur's kind. He's compassionate. And I feel bad for doing this. But this is a dungeon. As he grabs a Demon King daggers, he goes, I have no time to be, nice. I just wish we could have been friends at least. She does, grab his face and just say, Look at me. You are not a bad person. If you're going to think that, I'm not going to ever allow you. Alright? You're just doing this because you have to. Like you said, this is a dungeon. And maybe, just maybe, he'll still be the same Arthur that, you just got to know not too long ago. And you can already tell, like you said, he's a kind person. And so, just then, Izuku basically change the name of, the shadow extraction command. He goes, What the? I could change it? He goes, and then he says, Arise. Which just popped into his head. Yeah, I'm changing it. I'm gonna Tiresome and come forth. I like the better arise. So yeah, he says arise, as in it says, command changed, confirmed. As Izuku says, You ready? She basically says, Yeah. Wait, I don't have a helmet. As then he basically gives her the helmet. She says, Thanks. He goes, Alright, let's go. So they both just he grabs her, he basically just no, he puts the daggers right back into the holsters and he just starts running by carrying her into the battle. He basically slides, put her down. She has a spear. She basically sees a knight and one of Arthur's knights coming at them, and she turns around and slices her spear right through the guy. But she's shocked by how sharp this is. He goes, "That's a basically a this is this is a S rank dungeon, so I gave you a S rank spear with a ability of electricity behind it." She's looking at him and she goes, "I love it already." And basically, she basically starts towing around as lightning is coming around it, and then she just basically slashes as the thing of lightning comes. Izuku can already tell that his soldiers are being defeated, but he's getting a lot of XP for this, like legit. So let's just say, so he leveled up once already. So I'm gonna say it afterwards. So basically, after a few minutes, Izuku was basically could tell his MP is already near halfway. So he enters the fight. He just goes in and starts hacking and slashing. He gets ready to see Ezel's gain experience points, along with she's leveling up too. And then he basically just going hacking and slashing. He basically brings out the pistols, just starts shooting away at everyone. Heck, he actually just turns into a shadow or just goes right through, use the shadow weaponry, and has shadow basically just coming out of the ground, hitting everyone. But just then he says, "Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this skill." He goes domain of the monarch. As just then, it goes around making his actual shadows gain in strength and power by 50%. As Arthur's realizing his men are dropping like flies. As Zuko, takes out a health potion, not health potion, a MP potion and drinks it. He goes "Now then, arise!" As all King Arthur's men that were already slain coming out, even three of his members of the Round Table, as they all turn to shadows. He had 300 men. Izuku basically, they already took down 100, and he already leveled up 5 times already, and he already puts in I'll say what let's just say is he's able to take in a lot of shadows, and then he's gonna add on to stuff. So yeah, so King Arthur says, "All right, that's enough of this. Let's end this, Izuku." He goes, "Right." As he puts away the daggers. He just takes out the katana. He holds it, and it's on fire. He goes, "Arthur, if you're able to talk still as a shadow, let's continue to get to know each other, one another still." He says, "Right, I like that, Izuku." As they dash towards each other, just clashing swords. They can feel each other's strengths and determination not to lose. King Arthur as a king, and Izuku as someone who wants to get stronger. But King Arthur can already tell his hesitation, and he's kind of happy by this. He can tell Izuku's not a cold, heartless person. He can already tell that, but in battle, still, he's thinking of Arthur as a friend. As he smiles, he says, "Izuku, do not hesitate. This is a bout to the death where you can also lose your life. I would not want your death to be on my hands, but as a king, I must. Sorry." As Izuku nods says, "I know, and I must do what I need to too." As a domination touch, as he brings Arthur down, and then he does critical strike after critical strike until it changes into critical chain. As he's doing multiple then he's made multiple slashes, which causes Arthur's armor to be damaged. And even though Arthur's losing, he's basically smiling. And Izuku does notice that critical strike turned to critical chain, but to the max. And Arthur is basically saying, "I have one last move." As Excalibur's starting to glow, he goes, "If you survive this, I'll be done for." He goes, "Excalibur execution!" As he stabs the sword into the ground, as a spear of light's happening, destroying a lot of Izuku's shadows, along with actually destroying all his shadows. Which then he has Tusk basically grabs Ezel and gets out of there quickly. As Izuku basically jumps up to the air, and he says, "Domination touch!" Activates domination touch and slams like King Arthur to the ground, and then all of a sudden, he basically stabs his sword into Arthur and throws one of the daggers at Merlin, who was about to use a fireball, and he cuts off Merlin's head. And then all of a sudden, then basically Tusk uses he does growth and destroys the rest of the army. As Zuko basically leveled up to 10 times now. And then he says, "Arise." As all of the shadows, all of the King Arthur's men change, along with King Arthur, turn into a general. As he says, "Would you like to change Arthur's name?" He goes, "No. Arthur's fine." As Arthur, basically says, "Thank you, Zuko." Which, he's shocked by this. He can talk still, and everything. And he says, "Alright, so give me a minute, let me, add them up." So, hold on. Okay, so, Izuku is level 153, his stats now are strength 377, agility 438, sense 35, vitality 440, intelligence 444, and now he can carry up to 350 shadows, which, since, Arthur said he had around 300 men, including himself and Merlin, Zuko, basically says, "I'm gonna add some points to my intelligence." So he has 69 points now. So basically, it's okay. 44 plus 69. Okay, so no, he adds all his points to intelligence, and now he has around 513, and he can do up to 400 shadows. And since now he has 341 shadows now to his disposal. And now Izuku does get Excalibur, but he does change. He does says transfer combined. Excalibur though is an S-rank weapon, and it says it can create light from the ground with an AoE attack that is very devastating to all of the enemies around it, and it can attack enemies just by swinging the sword, creating a shockwave. So he's combining it with the Demon King's sword, long sword. As when it changes, the Excalibur was just an ordinary sword with basically some markings on it, some little design waves going on it and such. But now, since he transferred it to the Demon King, basically he combined them both, the Demon King sword along with Excalibur, it basically turns into a whole new weapon, an S rank weapon, which is a devastating attack and power behind it. Instead of an AoE attack that attacks all enemies, with its devastation, it also does an AoE attack of lightning too, which lightning will come out of the ground now with light. And Arthur basically is a general. So yeah. So now Izuku basically asks about his kingdom, and he says the kingdom will basically fade now out of existence. "Thank you for freeing my people and freeing us." As Izuku says, "Thank you." As just he does receive that was the reward, the sword, and he does receive, though what Merlin is a knight, basically class, the ranking as a knight. So yeah, along with all of the 13 the Knights of the Round Table. So yeah, so basically though, Izuku receives another item. It says necklace of the king. No. It says a ruin stone, which is shocking to him. He goes, and I'm gonna have to end it though. But let's just say I'm gonna tell you guys the next episode, which is gonna come out tonight, because I gotta go to work now. Sorry. I tried to do this earlier, but the problem was someone came here to fix my my house's garage door, and I had to, you know, pay paid the guy paid the guy money, and I had like a whole bunch of receipts I had to go through too. I forgot about them. So yeah, but just know I'm gonna make part 7, and it's gonna tell you what the runestone is. Also, I have to come up with a name of it. So yeah, new skill for him. Oh man, I hate I hate that I had a name for it, now I'm gonna lose it. But yeah, hope you guys like this. What if? Bye everyone. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are. See you in part 7.